Oh, hey. Hey, top of the Friday morning. We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes till we're getting started right here in the Winning in the Morning Show. KINSLEY Jordan, your host, your winning coach. So glad to be with you today. Telling you, it doesn't get better. If you don't mind right now, share this wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse, Instagram. Share it. It's going to be good. We're talking how to be transparent in your life and grow. Ooh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Stick with us right here. So excited to be with you today. I mean, jacked. I am so jazzed. Woo! All right, if you don't mind, hit that share button. Let's get a couple more people here with us this morning because it's going to be great. 3 minutes. Let me know where you're watching from if you can in the comment section. If you comment below, literally, I can see your comments. Sometimes I can respond back. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes it'll let me. 3 minutes here to be started with you today. Winning in the Morning Show. Literally, just like you, I'm putting finishing touches on things. Just throwing it up here, last minute, just a little thought bubble, you know? Morning, Mike Hoffman, good to be with you. Top of the morning, say hello to Glennis as well. Gavin, Winning in the Morning, yeah, buddy. 7 a.m., bright and early. We got 2 minutes. If you don't mind, share this with your friends. Let them know the goodness that has taken place this morning. Because it's, I'm telling you, this for real is going to be really, really, really awesome. Really awesome. I mean, my life was kind of changed by it. Not just kind of, it was. All right, we got 1 minute. Well, no. 1 minute, 50 seconds. And I want you to start thinking about this right now. Think about it before we even get started. I want you to think about this. What does it mean to you to be transparent? What does that look like? Patrick Bishop. Hey, he was just one of our guests. Not very long ago, he was one of our guests. Awesome. Great man. If you don't mind, click share the goodness this morning. You got a minute 25, minute 20. Good morning. Happy Friday. 1 minute until we're getting started right here. Winning in the Morning Show. I'm telling you, it is so good, so fun, so awesome. Yes, we are going to get started here. Momentarily. That's it. Ooh, little music transition. 40 seconds. Nothing gets me jazzed like this in the morning. Oh, I love it. Hey. That's right, you got 20 seconds to get yourself ready today. My. That is right. That is right. You have done it. You've made it through the week. You're a champion. You're just crushing it today. I'm telling you, holy smokes. So much goodness taking place already this morning. I hope that you are ready for literally an amazing, amazing show. It kept me up last night. I was laying in bed. I was thinking, oh man, maybe I should just go record this now instead of waiting. Like maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I just need to go out tonight and literally record it because that's how jacked I was. Oh man, I was so pumped to be able to talk about this today, about being transparent and growing. And there's a couple of things that go with that. I mean, there's a couple of really important things that go with this. Is so many times, I don't know if you read in the description below, but if you didn't read in the description below, that's okay. Maybe you don't read it. I don't know. I try to give you a little heads up. I try to just give you a little bit of warning before we just go, full crazy, before we go full trigger here. In case you don't know, trigger is my call sign in the Air Force. Before we go full crazy this morning, I try to give you a description and let you know exactly what's taking place. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I did want you to know, we're talking about transparency, the importance of transparency, and how that is everything to your growth. Now, I know some people, I'm not even going to get into what some people would say. But before we go anywhere, I will ask you to do this. Hey, would you subscribe? Would you hit the like button? Would you hit follow just so you can get these notifications each and every morning? Just do that right there. Just literally, if you're watching on YouTube, just hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you can, get this. I mean, you can get this Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now. But you know what? There's a chance we're going to go 5 days a week. I'm just saying, if you want Winning in the Morning to go 5 days a week, then let me know what it means to you in the comment section below. If you want Winning in the Morning show every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then tell me, because I'm starting to get the demand signal. I want to hear that from you. Anyway, if you haven't done that yet, subscribe, hit the bell, because we do have something awesome special for you. Also, if you haven't done it, you can be more. You can join more. You can join literally the Winning Network by simply texting WINNING. Now, here's the deal. I don't sell any information to you're not going to be getting an extended warranty phone call from this guy. You're not going to. You know why? I ain't got time for extended warranties, because the original warranty I got's good enough. Can I get a glory? Amen to that. Because yeah. I mean, it is good enough. I might as well just stick with the original. But I'm not going to sell any information. It doesn't go anywhere. Literally, all you're doing when you text WINNING to 405-645-7789, all you're saying is, hey, Kinsley, I want to get more information of the encouragement, of the hope, of growing in my emotional intelligence, which we're going to talk about today. I want more of that. I don't just want this an hour or 30 minutes every 3 times a week. I want it every day. So if that's you, if you want to get access to the blogs of the Winning Network and the content of the Winning Network, the times that we're going live, the little tidbits. Listen, I even text out my thoughts just during the day to say, hey, am I the only one that has this? Am I the only one going through this? So do it right now. Text us 405-645-77 to the 89 right there. You can do it. Would love to be able to have you. Allison Jackson is on with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't even believe that I am so lucky to be able to have the Allison Jackson with us this morning, watching live, Winning in the Morning. That's what we're doing. Allison, she's our operations director. She does a killer job with literally everything she does. But with that, listen, we're getting straight to it. Here's the deal. I don't know if you read the title, but it is really important for us to think about this, because the title slide, in case you didn't see it, in case you missed it, I'll throw this back up there for you to be able to see it. There it is. Be transparent and grow. Now, I know you can say, Kinsley, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that idea. So many times, and this is just my observation, but so many times, I have thought that if I do more, I will go farther. Am I the only one? If you've also thought this before, please, if you don't mind, throw it in the chat. Let me know. Hey, Kinsley, I've thought the same thing before. I thought if I can do more, if I can create more, if I can be more involved, if I can lead more projects, if I can if I can just show the boss that, I've really got my idea and my mentality. If my output, if I can exert myself more, then clearly I'm going to go farther. Clearly I'm going to do and accomplish more. Certainly, right? I'm sorry to tell you this. Actually, I'm not sorry to tell you this at all. I'm very glad to tell you this. That's not true. That's not true. In fact, the only thing that happens when you continue just doing more, do, is that you end up doing things that you shouldn't have been doing in the first place, because your ideology behind how to succeed is completely corrupted. Wow. Jeez, Kinsley. I thought this was going to be fun. I thought this was going to be enjoyable. It is going to be enjoyable. You know why? Because... Oh, that was delightful. Woo. Because you're getting a revelation this morning. That's why this is going to be enjoyable. It's because your output, how much you are doing, how much you're exerting yourself, if it is exerted in the wrong place, with the wrong mentality for the wrong reason, then your exertion and your efforts are like spinning your wheels and trying to run in mud or sand or, whatever type of viscous material that you like to run in. But I'm not the only one that this has happened before. I'm really not. This mentality, how many times have you worked and worked and worked and worked and gone after and just kept on doing what you knew to do? And you've gotten to the point that you're like, man, I'm not seeing the results of all of my hard work. Why am I not seeing the results of all of my hard work? Is it possible that you are working so hard in the wrong line of effort with the wrong focus of where you should be? Is it possible? And all I'm saying to you, all I'm saying today, and this isn't pointing fingers. I just want you to know this. This isn't pointing fingers. Everything that I share is literally a revelation that I have had to go through myself. All the time. That's literally all it is. You're getting the benefit of my ridiculousness. Hey, the lessons that I have had to learn, then the lessons that I am learning, the lessons that I'll continue to learn. You're just getting the benefit of those. But this revelation, Patrick said good morning. We got some comments that I forgot to go through. Allison Jackson said good morning. So stoked for today. Yes, she is. And yes, that's my whole life. That was my whole mindset years ago. So incredibly true. We can spend our time and output trying to accomplish things when it's actually focused on the wrong area. How is it that we get away from this? How is it that we get out of this? Well, there's something that I wanted to be able to share today. I'm going to show you this real quick, just real fast. It's this idea of transparency. Now, here it is. Here's the definition. I'm a big definition guy. Here it is. Transparent. So again, if we know that if we're coming to this revelation that our success in the winning network mindset, when we're winning in the morning, success is not a destination. Success is actually the process. If you build a process that will enable you to continue accomplishing the things you want to accomplish and get where you want to get, then that process is actually what success is that you enable yourself to continue perpetuating what it is that you want to get to. So if we know that success is not just focusing on a ton of output, we're just constantly work. That it is focused, intentional work to a specific point. This is this next step for understanding how we get to a place of really growing. Look at this, transparent. This is what we talked about at the heading, transparency. Now, this is the important piece. I'm sure you've seen this before. This is just a piece of paper with like a drawing on it. Okay, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to show you something just as a little example. And I want you to look at this. I want you to think about it. I want you to tell me what it is that I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold something up. I'm going to do something. Watch this. I'm going to do something. And I want you to tell me what you did. What I did. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. Did you see that? No. You didn't see it? Why didn't you see it? I don't know. Okay, wait. I'm going to do it again. You ready for this? Okay, here we go. 1, 2. I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Did you see it that time? What did I do? I'll do it one more time. I'm going to do it here like this. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, I just did it. Did you see it? No? Okay, what about now? 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, what did I do? Throw in the comment section. What did I just do? Yeah. Okay. It has everything to do literally with what we're talking about right now. Again, I'll read the description. Transparent is allowing light to pass through so that objects behind can distinctly be seen. I'll read it one more time. Allowing light to pass through something so that objects that are behind that something can easily, distinctly be seen. So when I did this with a book, This is my full focus planner, by the way. If you don't have one, you need to get one. I digress. Not talking about that today. If I do this and I turn the light on, you're not going to see it. You know why? Because there's something literally blocking you from being able to see what's behind it. However, if I do that with a sheet of paper that is more transparent and I turn on that light, you're able to see through it. Now, you can't see the phone that I'm holding, but you can see the effect of the light that's going through it because it is transparent. It's transparent. Kinsley, you're smoking crack. Why are you talking about this right now? I thought we were talking about growth. I thought we were talking about being able to grow through transparency. I got a story for you. There was a guy that I've been friends with for a long time. I've been friends with him for a very long while. And not only that, but he's worked in the same job for a really long time. I think it was 13 years he's been working there. It could be longer. And we were just talking about goals. He knew about the Winning Network. He knew that I'm a winning coach. He knew these things, and he'd watched several things, podcasts, legacy podcasts, and a couple other things. And he started saying, I feel a little bit stuck. Now, I want you to listen to this, and tell me if this is anything like you. If this is anything like you. He said, yeah, I'm feeling just a little bit stuck. I said, well, what's that? He said, man, I've really been working hard. And I see some areas in my job that we really need. Like, we desperately need somebody to be able to fill. And it's like my dream position. Like, that's what I want to do. That's why I went back to school. That's why I started working on my bachelor's and working on my master's and going through this process, because I see the need that we have now. Think about this for a second. Let's go out of the conversation. Think about this. This individual saw a need within their own organization. It was something that connected to their passion. This is what the Winning Network is all about. It connected to their passion. A person was connected to their passion. And he identified a purpose of why he should go after his passion. So he literally went back to school through a program that they had that they had to work to be able to help pay for that. So he literally went back to school to be able to start meeting the need that was there, that was connected to something that he was really passionate about. So he took the responsibility upon himself to go and do this because he saw the need in doing it. Okay, let's get back to the conversation. So he said, yeah, I've even gone back to school, and there's a real need in our organization for this. There's a real need in this organization to be able to fill this position that it is clearly a gap. It is clearly a missing area, and it's obviously something that we need to get to and we need to be focused on. But nobody sees it. I'm the only one that sees it. I said, okay, so what's the problem? Why is this a problem? Why is this an issue? He said, man, I've been working at it, but nobody is paying attention. Nobody's seeing what I'm doing. It's just like nobody's filling me into that place. Nobody has hired me into it. I said, okay. It was just one really simple question that I asked, but this is where this whole piece comes into, this whole transparent piece. I said, have you told your boss that you want to do this? And I knew immediately by the kind of blank stare that I got back that conversation had not happened. He was like, well, I mean, they see what I do. I said, no. Have you actually talked to your boss and said, hey, this is what I want to do. There is a need in the organization. I have a passion to fix that need. I want you to create this position for me to be in, because it is not having this position is detrimental to you, the organization, the profits, the regional for who we work for. I mean, this is impacting everybody, and this is what I want to do. And I just want you to know how I want to be able to grow. They had never told their boss of what they wanted to do or what their expectation was or how they were going to get there or what they were going to do. But yet they were frustrated that they weren't seeing the growth and that somebody else wasn't recognizing their efforts and where they wanted to go. Friends, if you're not transparent in where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, it's very hard for other people to support you. Oh, woo! I'll say that again. If you are not transparent with what you're trying to do and how you're trying to grow, it is very difficult for anybody to support you in it. It is the most, this is what the lack of expectation is all about, is that so many times we get ourselves hurt, we get ourselves offended, we get ourselves frustrated, we get ourselves at this point where we say, well, they just don't care and they're not paying attention and, they need to pay attention. Here's the reality. You need to pay attention to communicating what it is that you want to do and where it is that you want to go so that others or those involved may be able to help you in the process of it. Now, I say this carefully. I bring up this idea carefully for a reason. Is that doesn't mean that you go around to everybody just flapping your jaws all day long about I'm doing this, and I need your help. But we all know those extra grace required people. We all know those people that every conversation is literally about them and every conversation is about whatever their issue is. We know those people. We know what that looks like. That is not what I'm saying to do. What I'm telling you is that if you want to be serious about your growth, if you want to communicate, if you want people to see what is behind this flesh and what's in this mind and what's in this heart, then you have to have transparency in order to enable that to be communicated to them. Just like this was. You don't know that there's a phone behind there until the light comes on. You don't realize there's anything behind there until the blockage is removed and there's a level of transparency that can be seen. Until that level of transparency is there, my friends, until we realize that if we will be transparent in what's going on inside of us, then we can get to the destination that passion that we have inside, that drive that we have inside, we can get there farther, faster. Here's another example. The ridiculousness. I had the vision for the Winning Network 3 years ago. 3 years ago. For 1 entire year, I sat on the idea and did nothing about it. In fact, I mulled over a demo episode that I sent to 8 people. 2 of them responded. Those 2 people responded only because I texted them back and said, hey, they were kind of closer to me. I said, hey, would you give me some feedback? What do you think about this? 2 people responded. One said, yeah, I'll give you some feedback about it. And then they never responded back. And then one person actually said, yeah, man, I think it's really cool. And that was it. Of the 8 people that I trusted to be able to send the first demo episode of Legacy Podcast to, 2 people responded. Both of them responded simply only because I had texted them. And then only one responded after that. What I'm saying is not everyone is going to care about your growth unless you care about your growth. Not everyone is going to care about what it is that you're doing. And if you're waiting for somebody's approval to tell you, oh, you're doing such a great job, I just love what it is that you're doing. If that's what you're waiting on, my friend, you're going to be waiting the rest of your life for somebody to care about you as much as you care about yourself, with the exception of our Savior, with the exception of God, literally our Creator. Because people are not in your mind. And if you want to grow, if you want to intentionally grow, if you want to, no kidding, actually see an impact of your growth, then we have to be able to get transparent with what it is that we're doing and let people know what's inside of us and let ourselves know what's inside of us. Most of the time, we are literally our own worst enemy when it comes to growth. This is the second, the very, very important second portion. Most of the time, we are our own limitation to seeing the growth that we want to see. And it really comes down to this thing that I want to share with you. A lot of it really comes down to this little thing called emotional intelligence. Now, this is not a new concept. Kinsley didn't create this. The Winning Network did not create this. This is I have no rights to this at all. None. But emotional intelligence, oftentimes people hear about IQ, intelligence quotient is what they call it. The IQ, measuring how academically sound you are able to solve problems, identify information, stuff like that. But there's this EQ, which is emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, which is able to help us to better and more rapidly identify how to be transparent with how it is that we want to grow. The reason why I bring up emotional intelligence, and we're not going to dive majorly into it, I just want this to be, bring this to your awareness, is because emotional intelligence, literally, if we look at what that says, It says this: it is the ability to identify and manage one's own emotion as well as other people's emotions. And it's made up of these 5 different areas. First is social skills. In the top left, social skills is effective. Are we effective at managing relationships that benefits everybody? The bottom left part is motivation. Being motivated consists of enjoying what you do, working towards achieving goals, and not being motivated by money or status. Woo, that's a good one. This bottom one, empathy, the green one, is being able to identify and understand others' emotions. Okay, really good. Here's the part that really starts getting difficult. Is when we get over to, I lost that, hold on. When we get over to self-regulation, which is this blue diagram right in the middle. Self-regulation talks to, I can't even read it. If I can't read it, you can't read it. Hold on, pulling it back up. Over here. Okay, self-regulation allows you to wisely manage your emotions and impulses. And then on the top left, self-awareness, the ability to recognize your emotions, strengths, and limitations, and their impact on others around you. But between self-awareness and self-regulation, this is the area where most of the time transparency completely breaks down, completely just is absolutely shattered. You know, and here's why. Have you ever worked with somebody, with a boss? Have you ever worked with somebody who does not realize that their negativity is the problem in the workplace? Have you? Anybody like that? Have you ever worked with somebody who you're like, oh man, I just wish somebody would just walk up to them and tell them that their attitude is a real issue, blah, blah. Do you think that person that you're talking about knows that their attitude is the problem? Chances are, no. You know why? It is very difficult for us to perceive ourselves. It is very difficult for us to see our own limitations. It is very difficult for us to look to stand outside of ourselves and our own perspective and look in towards ourselves. It is very difficult for us to stand outside of our thoughts, our emotions, our will, and look at ourselves and see a true objective picture. It's very difficult. This is why I bring up emotional intelligence. The higher emotional intelligence or emotional quotient we have, the better we are at being able to identify what our limitations and barriers are. And this is why I'm telling you, I connected this emotional intelligence aspect right back over here to the importance of transparency. The reason why I connect these two is because our growth is limited by, one, it's not the amount of output you put in an area. Our growth is based upon our ability to recognize what area do we need to focus in. And then 2, the second step, recognizing what weaknesses we have that are preventing us from growing. And step 3 is this transparency piece. It's so huge. Is openly identifying the things that are holding us back, communicating that to others around us or to ourselves, and working through it and allowing those things that are inside, that drive, that mentality, that purpose. You're going to have to go back and watch this again because this is some serious stuff. That transparency, what is inside us to be able to get out of us. Most of the time, our growth is limited by our own inability to perceive our weaknesses. And because we don't like to talk about our weaknesses, because most of the time we don't like to talk about the areas where we need to grow, because most of the time we don't talk, I want to have that awkward conversation and say, oh man, geez, I'm just so terrible at this. That's not natural for people. You have to actually train yourself to want to desire feedback. But because we do not naturally do that, most of the time, we lose out on the opportunity to majorly grow because we are not being transparent with our weaknesses, of what we need to work on, of what we're trying to improve on, of how we're trying to grow. And because we are not transparent in our desire to grow, or we're not transparent with identifying what our weaknesses are, because we're afraid to talk about them instead of being excited to celebrate realizing what our weaknesses are, because we're afraid of that, then there is no transparency in what is inside of us, what our hope of what is inside of us oftentimes gets confused and is never outwardly communicated. Going back to the first example that I had, if that individual 2 years or 3 years before had gone to their boss and said, hey, I see a need and I want you to know I want to work towards getting promoted. I want to work towards filling this position. I want to work towards getting into this idea, this mentality, this ability. I just want you to know this is important to me and I'm willing to work for it. That's transparency. If this individual had done this 2 or 3 years before, guess what? They may be 2 or 3 years ahead of where they're at right now. But because they were afraid to be transparent and share that, because they were afraid of the thought of rejection, that maybe their boss would say, no, you just need to stay there. Because we are afraid to address our weaknesses oftentimes, or because we do not intentionally try to identify our weaknesses, then we are limited. We limit ourselves to our ability to grow. Because transparency is the key to growth. Again, I'll say it from the very beginning. Man, I'm getting myself stirred up this morning. I don't know if you are. I'm getting fired up this morning. If we are not willing to be transparent, if we're not willing to allow this definition right here, if we're not willing to work on allowing the light of our passion, our hope, and our excitement to pass through our fear of rejection so that those who could help us can see what's inside of us. If we're not willing to do that, then we will keep on getting the same results we've always gotten. You're here before. It's the definition of insanity. If you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you will continue to get the same results that you've always gotten. I'll say this one more time. If we are not willing to make transparency a priority, and this goes back to this emotional intelligence thing I'm talking about. I want you to read up on this week. I want you to focus on this, of realizing what this is this week, this emotional intelligence piece, because this is really important. I want you to literally look at this and start reading. You can pull up a diagram. You can Google it. Go to the Googlies and type up emotional intelligence. And I want you to look at this, look into it, and then really start reading about it and diving into it, because your ability to identify, as we were talking about, self-awareness and self-regulation, your ability to identify your weaknesses and your ability to look at how you perceive your weaknesses and then communicate that to people, that that enables your ability to grow. So I'll say this statement, this just big, bold statement this morning. I'll just say it one more time. If we are not willing to be transparent and allow the passion that is inside of us to pass through and past our fear of rejection or our fear of failure, if we're not willing to propel and to project and to communicate what it is that we desire to do and where we desire to go, if we do not push past that fear and that anxiety, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of never living up to it, if we're not, this is why success is a process, it's not a destination, because you have to get good at this process of pushing through your fears. You got to get good at this process of pushing through your rejection. A lot of us literally don't try things because we're afraid, because we come up with a scenario in our head where we are already rejected. So we don't move based on the rejection that has never even happened. It's just in our head. This is why emotional intelligence is so important. When you are stopping your own growth by a barrier that you have created, you need to be able to recognize it, because nobody has stopped you but you. Nobody has stopped you from growing except you. Camera angle switch, change, because it's this important. Nobody has stopped you from growing except for you. You are the only one. You're the only one. I can't live your life for you. I tell my daughter this all the time. Listen, your emotions are your emotions. She said, Dad, you made me so mad. Honey, I don't have the ability to make you mad. I may have done something that you didn't like, but I did not open up your little brain and tweak the little anger screw and crank it all the way to full and then put your little brain, cover your brain back up. I didn't do that. I don't have the ability to do that. There are so many times we blame other people for the actions that we have taken because we want to place blame somewhere other than the owner of that blame. And the owner of that blame is the person most of the time that stares you back in the mirror. I am responsible for my actions. I am responsible for what it is that I do. And here's the hard part about this little thing right here, this little transparency piece. Thanks. Camera didn't switch. Oh, man. You saw me stare into this. Okay, I'll say it one more time. You are responsible for your own actions and responsibilities. Nobody can do that for you. There you go. Now you're caught up. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can do that for you at all. So many times we are limited by our own limitations. We create our own barriers. We build our own walls. We build these beliefs that say, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. It's too difficult. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get through it. I don't know. We build these for ourselves, and then we stay confined by our own limitations. And this is why I say transparency is the key to growth. If you are not willing to identify those barriers that have kept you in the same place you have always been, if you're not willing to allow that excitement and passion that is on the inside of you to push through and past the fear and the barriers and the rejections that of what has stopped you for so many years. If I had listened to the voices in my head that says, nobody cares about what you say, Kinsley, it is a waste of your time, it's a waste of your money, all you're doing is trying to be a bandstand for yourself. All you're trying to do, I listened to that for a year and I got nowhere. I did nothing. And even now you could say, well, Kinsley, like what impact do you have? For the people that listen, whether this is live or later, there is a major impact because I get the phone calls and I get the text messages. Whether you're watching this now or you're watching this later, the whole reason why you're able to watch Winning in the Morning is because I had to push through the veil and the block of fear and rejection and had to push through the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to be me regardless of what anybody thinks. I'm still going to do what it is that is lit on the inside of me. But that's what transparency is all about. You have to take what that is on the inside, push through the fear and rejection to be able to get to the place, to be able to show the other people that have the ability to help you, have the ability to encourage you, have the ability to help you get to the place you want to go. You have to be able to share that. Otherwise, you will continue being stuck in the stagnant cesspool of mediocrity. Big words, powerful impact. If you are not willing to be transparent with your weaknesses, if you're not willing to be transparent with identifying what has previously held you back, if you're not willing to be transparent with what it is that has stopped you before, then what you're actually doing is you are continuing to sit in the cesspool of mediocrity. You are continuing to sit in the same place. This is why I'm so crazy passionate about this. This is why at the Winning Network, we are so passionate about helping people to grow in their emotional intelligence, is because we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is no question about it. We know that you can get to where you want to go if you are willing to start being transparent with first yourself. If you're willing to start being honest with yourself and start identifying the things that have actually held you back. Listen, if you are broke and you keep on blaming it on your boss is not the one that's spending the money. I'm just saying. If you want to be able to get past if you want to get past that point that you're at, then you need to start doing something differently. The truth is, you may have no idea how to be able to manage money. You may have never had anybody sit with you and walk through a budget or walk through the basics of finance. And if you want to change your life and to do something different, then you need to recognize what that weakness is. You need to see that desire on the inside, push through the fear of rejection, the fear of humiliation, the fear of somebody looking at you and judging you. You need to push through that and get to the people who can actually help you and go to somebody who does have it figured out and say, hey, I have no idea how to manage my finances. I have no clue. I don't know what to do. This is one of the things that I've loved so much about this journey. I want to hit this comment real quick. Jeremy Glenn said, abusers are responsible for their own action. Case in point. Boom. Jeremy, so true. It's so incredibly true. This is why I have so thoroughly enjoyed this real estate growth venture that I'm on. It's really exciting. We'll talk about it later, but and I'm not trying to get anybody pulled into it. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's literally just what me and my partner are doing in growth. But this is why I've loved it so much, is that before this last year, I knew nothing about real estate. I knew nothing about rental properties. I knew nothing about any of this stuff. But the thing that I was really excited about is, man, I wanted to learn. So I started asking people, hey, would you mind mentoring me? Would you mind teaching me? Would you mind talking to me about this mentality and this ability and what this looks like? And I had this insatiable hunger to learn. There was a chance they were going to reject me and say, nah, man, I don't have time. But the fear of not learning this information, the ability of being held back and not learning this information was a greater risk than asking the question and getting rejected. You have to ask the question. You've got to push through those fears. You've got to push through those barriers. You have to push through. That's what transparency is. And your growth is, again, I'll say it from the beginning, is not limited by the amount of work you're willing to do. It's limited by your ability to be transparent with yourself, with your limitations, with your weaknesses, and identify where it is you actually need to be putting the work into, because some of us are giving 100% of our effort in 100 different directions, that if we even gave 50% of our effort in 2 directions that were what we were supposed to focus on, you would be seeing different results. I'll say that again. Some of you are going to bed exhausted, run down, worn out, and absolutely beat because you have focused on 100 different things in 100 different directions, and 98 of them were nothing that you were supposed to be doing in the first place. Yikes. What would happen if you focused in the areas that you knew that you were supposed to grow in, that you had transparency in those desires and that ability to grow? You were honest with yourself and said, you know what? I don't know how to do this and I need to find somebody who can teach me, or I'm going to go to the YouTube and I'm going to look it up. YouTube is the greatest resource of our time ever. It is the greatest encyclopedia. It is the greatest encyclopedia. It's the greatest ability to find information. It's the greatest. There is nothing you cannot learn. You can literally learn how to create a nuclear reactor on YouTube. Dangerous? Yes. Amazing? Absolutely. If you can learn to create whatever you want to, if you are willing to acknowledge that that is an area of weakness for you, and then go where you need to go to grow. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's literally that easy. Transparency is the basis of our growth. Because again, I'll throw this up there for you one more time. Transparency allows light to pass through so that objects behind can distinctly be seen. Allow your light to shine through the fear, the rejection, the angst, the idea that somebody is going to say no to you. Let your passion shine brighter than the blockages that maybe you have placed in your own life, which is that fear, which is that anxiety, which is sometimes that rejection. Allow your passion, your desire to grow in an intentional area be stronger than your fear and limitations of what may happen if you step out to do it. Listen, do not let a ghost stop you, a ghost that doesn't exist. Don't let a ghost stop you from walking into the room where your success and your goals are. Walk on through it. The reality is like a fog. You can look out and you can see this huge bank of fog, but the fog doesn't actually stop you from walking through it. It's just this barrier that as you get closer to it, you realize there's nothing there. It's just clouds. But some of you are staying at home because you've seen the bank of fog lying in front of you, your fear, your angst, your anxiety about whatever it is. Man, don't let the fog prevent you. Don't let the fog of fears prevent you from using transparency to your advantage and getting out of there and crushing it and growing where you need to be growing. I'm telling you today, listen, it is too much fun. It's too much fun. Transparency, friends. Growth is based in transparency. If we can be transparent in what we want to do and where we want to go, then we will be absolutely able to get there. And I need you to be able to help share that message with me. Literally, please do it. If you haven't done it yet, man, I hope that you enjoyed this Friday because we need this transparency in our life. If you wouldn't mind, join the Winning Network literally right now. All you have to do is text WINNING WINNIG to 405-645-7789. That's all you got to do. Just text that right now. Join the Winning Network. You're going to get info from me, encouragement from me. You're going to get it. Just text it. Also, if you haven't done it yet, if you don't mind, would you please subscribe? Hit the bell, hit the like button, subscribe before you get out of here. This is going to be a great Friday. You have started off awesome learning about the importance of transparency. So today, go out, take a step in transparency, start identifying those weaknesses and barriers that you have that have prevented you from growing, and let's get after it. That's what we're all about right here, Winning in the Morning. So we might as well get started. We might as well get rolling. We might as well change our lives. What do you think about that? I think so. I think so. Let's get after it, y'all. Happy Friday, 7:51. It's time to take ground, wage war, and get after it. Wage war on your fear and your weaknesses. And let's get after it today. Subscribe. See you all later. We'll see you Monday. Thanks for joining. Love you guys. Mwah. Get to winning. A life worth living's life worth a win. Here we go. Hey!